This is Note-Taking Guide 3.3, interpreting parts of an expression. The first thing I want to remind you of is that we already know what a degree is. The degree is the highest power on any given term of our polynomial. And then the leading coefficient is going to be the number in front of the term with the highest power. So we have different names that we call polynomials based on what they look like. If it's like x equals 5, it's a constant, meaning it has no variable at all. That would be a degree of 0. Okay, if it would be linear, it would be something like 3x, and that's because the degree would be 1 because the power on the x is 1. Quadratic has a highest power of 2, which means the degree is 2. Cubic would be the highest power of 3, which means it would have a degree of 3, and quartic is the highest power of 4. We'll talk about those a little bit more in just a minute. Another way we classify polynomials is by the number of terms they have. Because this has 1, 2, 3 terms, is called a trinomial. This has 2 terms, is called a binomial. This has 1 term, there's nothing separating it with addition or subtraction terms, so it is a monomial. So monomial, binomial, trinomial, monomial, and then 2 parts to this one, so binomial. All right, so what we're going to do is classify our equations by looking at them. So first of all, is this a binomial, monomial, or trinomial? It has 3 parts, so it's a trinomial. What's the degree of it? Well, the highest power is 2, so the degree is 2. What type of polynomial it is? Well, because its power is 2, it's called a quadratic. And then the leading coefficient is the number in front of the degree, which in this case is a 2. This next one has 1 term, so it's a monomial. The degree would be 0 because there's no variable at all. So type of polynomial would be constant. And the leading coefficient, well, there's only 1 number there altogether, so it would be 12. Okay, how many terms does this have? It has 2 terms, which means it's a binomial. The degree would be the highest power. The x has a power of 1, so it's got a power of 1, which means it's linear if we go look at our chart. Then the leading coefficient would be the number in front of the power, which would be 5. This is a binomial, 2 parts. The degree would be the highest power, which is 3. The type of polynomial, because it's 3, it would be cubic. And the leading coefficient is the number in front of the highest power, which is a 1. This last one's kind of backwards to look at, so let's be careful while we're doing it. We have 3 parts to make that a trinomial. Its degree is the highest power. The highest power is 2. The type of polynomial would be a quadratic because of the power of 2. And the leading coefficient would be the number in front of the highest power, which in this case would be -9.